Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. We're going to be doing some Football Manager. We're going to be finishing up the football season and heading into the new one with pre-season and all that good stuff. Few things to mention first and foremost. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. There wasn't a stream yesterday, but there was a video. There will also be a video tonight at 7 PM as well. Yeah, yesterday was a good day. Spent some time with family. Had a couple of meetings and emails and things that I had to send, and then there was a pub quiz in the evening for the Lily Foundation, which we took part in. Didn't do particularly great, which was kind of disappointing, but it's all for charity, which is the main thing. And I believe yesterday's event was to raise money for, I think it was for NHS workers. I can't remember off the top of my head, which sounds really bad. But the Lily Foundation, do check them out if you have the opportunity to. You know, they are a very good charity. And it was a very good night, hosted by Alex Brooker from The Last Leg. And yeah, he did a really good job. It was a really good quiz. We had a lot of fun, even though we didn't do very well. And tonight, there is a pub quiz being hosted by Jeremy Clarkson on the Drive Tribe channel on YouTube. So again, if you're free tonight at 7 PM, feel free to check that one out. Not that they need my promotion, of course, because it's Jeremy Clarkson. Everyone turns up for Jeremy Clarkson. I am a fan of his, by the way. It might not sound like it, but I am a fan of his. Right. Hello, George. Hello, Mohammed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Some other things. I have a small confession to make. I was supposed to finish playing Football Manager off camera at the point in which we were just about to win the league, so that the first match of this stream would be us winning the league. Unfortunately, because I was streaming it on my laptop from my desktop, and the resolution... So on my desktop, the resolution is 3840 by 1920. Not by 2160, sorry. Whereas on my laptop, it has to scrunch it down to 1920 by 1080. So some of the text can get a little bit obscured, and part of the text that got obscured for me in particular was the league table. So I ended up doing my maths wrong. I thought I was 12 points clear with 12 points left to play for. Turns out I ended up finishing 15 points clear with 12 points left to play for. So we have won the league. However, our season is not over. I would still like to go the rest of this season unbeaten, and part of that is the Cup. The Aubrey Cup, to which we are in the semi-final, and we're about to play New River Athletic in the semi-final of the Aubrey Cup. He says it's a week from now, but there we go. In terms of ingoings and outgoings, we've had a lot of players leave, actually, which I wasn't expecting. The most important player who has left for me personally is Flowerdew. He's gone to Longwell Green. He's actually left. Some were trial offers, some were actual offers. I believe Swamney... Actually, who was it? There was someone else who left. It might have been Swamney on trial. No, he's left as a free as well. But anyway, these are the players who have left. So Connor Lee, who was our backup goalkeeper. Josh Allinson, which I was really disappointed about. Jake Thomas, who was our backup right back. He can come, he can go. I'm not too fast. Flowerdew, I'm really disappointed in. However, it's not all bad news. I'll show you why in a second. Swamney's also left. Again, Flowerdew leaving, Swamney was meant to step up and take that right wing position, but him leaving again wasn't the end of the world. The reason it's not the end of the world, I've still got my cough and sore throat and stuff, by the way, so you'll have to excuse me clearing and coughing and all that stuff. The reason it's not bad news is because of this guy here, Luke Lofts. My director of football, Guillaume Balaguer, went out and got this guy. He's immense. Look at him, 5-star. He's 22, so he fits in with the objective of signing under 23s. He's got good stats across the board. Anything above 9 at this level is pretty good. 10 or above, basically. So crossing and dribbling, both 10. Finishing 11. And considering he's a winger who can also play as a shadow striker, that's really encouraging. He can kind of play up front, but I've been using him on the right-hand side of midfield. He's not the paciest or the most resilient, but he's got good natural fitness. And it's just 11 off the ball, 11 work rate, 12 penalty taking. That's very good at this level, because we've missed a couple of penalties in a couple of matches. And he's made 2 appearances for us so far. No goals yet, but he only joined us like 3 matches ago. So, not bad. And I just saw there, he was at Hull back in the day. Never played for him, but he was at Hull. North Ferriby. North Ferriby again. Scarborough. So he's a bit of a journeyman. I say that, he's only played for 4 clubs. Okay, we're his fourth club and he's 22, so he's not really a journeyman. He's a bit of a lower league specialist, let's say, instead. 9 goals in 64 games. Hopefully that will rise now he's joined us. So it's not all doom and gloom. Again, I am sad to see Flowerdew go. I might try and get him back in a season or so's time. It depends how well he develops while he's gone. But yeah, Lofts is a very, very good replacement. So let's get into it. As I say, we've got a week now to prepare for our cup match. And it would be nice if we can get an unbeaten run now to the end of the season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the M4J Network video that went out yesterday as well. I do apologise that it's so late. As I said on Discord last night, I recorded that episode. In fact, let me find out when roughly I recorded that episode, because it must have been at least a month ago, maybe even longer. Let me see if I can find a record. So what was it, episode 51 that went out, and I recorded that on the 28th of February. That's when that was recorded. And then the next episodes were recorded on the 2nd of March and the 3rd of March. And then the 11th of March and the 15th of March. And then I did all the audio. Actually, it must have been episode 53. Yeah, I think it was 53, sorry, not 51. So that was the 3rd of March I recorded that, which is a month and a couple of weeks ago. And then I did all the audio pretty much the week of the 15th. So when I recorded the episode 55, I then went and did all the audio for all of those videos, as well as the time-lapse, the music, all that stuff. Rendered them all in one go. And then, because of stuff that's happened, just never got round to uploading it. So there was an episode of the M4J Network yesterday. There will be another one next week. There will be another one the week after that, and so on and so on and so on. There is an M4J Logistics tonight, but after tonight it will be going on a small break. I have still got questions on the Q&A that I can use for the next episode, but do feel free to leave some more. And then Batman, there were 11 episodes in the series in total. I think episode 7 went up most recently, and I say that it was last Monday. So I will be uploading the rest of those as well. I've been putting off editing those because I keep having to adjust the audio levels for when I cough during the cutscenes. It's not fun trying to isolate a cough, believe me. So I will be doing that, and then those will go up as well. So I've been a very, very bad content creator lately, but I will be making up for it in the not too distant future. I mean, I have been doing relatively, daily streams for the last few weeks, but even so, I should have uploaded all those videos, so I do apologise for that. Any conversation topics, questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that that you want to say during the stream, feel free to do so. We can get some chat going, even if it's rail related. As long as it's not completely rail related, I don't mind talking about other things as well. But I know that if there's football fans coming here, they don't want to hear me talking about how good the HSTs are. But I don't mind doing a little bit of it here and there. Right, yeah, all my players are in high demand right now. Also, all my coaches are now doing coaching courses. And yet, if I request one, they'll say no. Yeah, they're actually worried that I'd get poached if I got a coach. I'm kind of flattered by that, I suppose. Kind of flattered. It's a nice-ish thing for them to say, whilst they're denying me the rights to improve my qualifications to enhance my career. In terms of money, we're doing really, really well. Oh, that's the other thing that's going to be happening at the end of the season. Once we won the league, the board came to me and asked if I'd be open to the idea of us going from an amateur team to a semi-professional team, which means we will have to pay players part-time wages. I said yes. It might end up costing the club quite a lot of money, but I think between level 10 and 11 is the cut-off point. So once you get into the Football League, you have to be a professional team. If you're in the National League or the National League North and South, you can be a semi-professional team, which means your players still have full-time jobs, but when they play for you as a football player, you pay them either an appearance fee or a weekly wage. And then amateur is basically no paid contracts. You just register the player to play for your team. So we are going to be switching from amateur to semi-pro at the end of this season, heading into next season. So we will have to renew all the contracts with staff, players, scouts, director of football, everything. But the club financially right now is quite healthy. So I will be keeping a very close eye on the finances, particularly next season. But yeah, we should be fine. How many seasons did you play with your club? So this is the end of the first season still. We're in March 2020 in here. But ultimately, we're going to be playing at least 11 seasons of this save, because we need to get the team into the Premier League. That's always the goal. And I'll say what I said last time as well. If you're a patron and you want to, or you're thinking of becoming a patron, there is an opportunity for you to design a logo that will go on the shirts of the Hatfield squad. I will be redesigning the shirts, or the kits I should say, as we go through the seasons. So I might add a logo to the shorts, or the the sleeves. There's all sorts of places in real life now where sponsors' logos can go. There's also on the back of the shirt you can have a sponsor's logo, top and bottom. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free. It's a good way to thank you guys for supporting the channel. Regan Upton. Is it a trial period? We might as well sign you. You are 23. Looks like we're already looking at improving the squad for next season as well. So this is the DOF doing all these transfers. Director of Football. It's nothing to do with me. I don't mind that though. At this point in time, I just want to focus on the matches. In the future, we will start taking a bit more of a keen eye on transfers. But at this level, you have so many players that turn you down or ask for stupid money. It's better just to let the DOF deal with all this stuff. So you're a really good centre-back. We actually have two really good centre-backs now. We have Inns, and now we'll have Upton as well, who for now I'm going to start on the bench for the next match. I mean, you don't sign and immediately join the squad of a team that's just won the league, after all. You have to work. Don't forget to hit the like button if you are enjoying the stream. It does help out the channel. Let me know if the stream is lagging as well, because I just looked at OBS and it looked like it was lagging slightly. I will have to turn my air conditioning on soon, because my PCU fan was going mental earlier. So let me just turn that on now as well. Let me know if you can hear the fan, and I'll move out of its line of fire. It's a very nice day today. It's been very nice most of this week. Summer is definitely on the way. Oh, yes, new goalkeeper coming in as well. Seems to be fine. Okay, good stuff. Can I get you a coaching license? Yeah, so they can initiate their own license coaching courses, but I can't initiate one on their behalf because the board always turned me down. Which is a little bit annoying. And yeah, this AC is pointed right at my face right now. Let me turn it slightly. It's a little bit better. I don't want it to sound like I'm standing in a hurricane or anything. It's such a first world problem having to turn on the air conditioning because it's too hot. Alright, new goalkeeper, also good. So we've got two very, very good goalkeepers. Again though, I'm going to stick with Ajamang till the end of the season and then review the situation. We will have a very high player turnover during the first few seasons. That's always what happens because we have so many teams that will just come in and poach our players while we're an amateur team. Once we go semi-pro, things will change considerably. And YouTube is now telling me that it's not receiving enough video. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's fine. At the end of this season, I'm still debating the idea of trying to negotiate terms with Parsons and or Dinsmore. I think at this point though, Walker's had such a good season, it would be very unfair to replace him. We already have Clifton, and Clifton's kicking up a fuss because he's not getting much game time. I might put him in the cup squad just to shut him up a little bit, see how he does. He might get subbed off immediately for Walker, we'll have to see. Yeah, because he's really kicking up a fuss. That's the other thing. Vincent. A lot of teams keep coming in for Vincent, and he keeps rejecting them. He wants to stay here. So again, I'm quite flattered. Players are actually turning down the opportunity to leave because they think they would do better here. It's very nice. Do you guys want music on the stream, or are you happy with it like this? I liked Bar City Central, looks much better. It does. Yeah, it does. That Patreon only video of me rebuilding Bar City will be going up next week. Probably 10 PM. That'll be the standard for that. So OpenTTD videos will go up. The normal ones will go up on Thursdays, and then the Patreon only ones will be going up on Tuesdays. Happy like this. Okay, good stuff. There's 2 Patreon only videos that I've recorded so far. There's the rebuilding of Bar City, and there's also how I got the Great Eastern to work. Like the rebuilding that I did at GSJ, along with some other rebuilding that I did along the line, basically, in order to make that work. And I did some... What was the other thing? Oh, I rebuilt Nut Hill City Centre as well, so that's now been rebuilt correctly. Alright, Clifton up front, you got the poacher status. So Lofts, Cole's moved over to this side, and I play him as an inverted winger. I could play him as an inside forward, but inverted winger sounds better. And then Lofts on this side I have as an inside forward, although he can play as an inverted winger as well. The difference between them, I've been looking at this. So the inside forward aims to cut inside from the flanks and run directly at the centre of the opposition's defence, and works best when the player's strongest foot is opposite to the flank he's playing on. So in other words, you have a right footer on the left hand side and a left footer on the right hand side. An inverted winger aims to frequently cut inside into the attacking third to open up space for overlapping fullbacks and to subsequently overload retreating defenders. And again, the inverted winger works best when the player's strongest foot is opposite to the side of the pitch he's playing on. So to put that in layman's terms, effectively an inverted winger sort of comes inside a lot more and plays almost as a second attacking midfielder, and then that gives Arnold, in this case, the space to run down the wing and create that crossing. So a bit like how Andrew Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold attack for Liverpool. So you have Mane and Salah, they basically play as inverted wingers. An inside forward is a bit more like Riyad Mahrez for Man City, where essentially he's playing as a striker out on the wing, or Gabriel Jesus has been playing this role recently as well, and he'll cut inside onto his stronger foot and aim shots at goal, but mostly he kind of plays as a forward in the wide position. I don't think I've done a very good job of explaining that, but when you see it on the pitch, it kind of makes sense. Did you watch Gordon, Gino and Fred's road trip? I saw the bit from when they were... when they met the Fish King's grandson, or was it? Or great-grandson? Up to the point where they left the vineyard. Or at least the guy who has a wine cellar. I don't think it was an actual vineyard. So I watched that little bit, but then I had some stuff to do, so I had to turn it over. It does look funny. It's kind of like the Grand Tour, but with chefs instead of petrol heads. It was quite a laugh. Watching Gino in the wine tasting. Talking about Gino's Vino and all that stuff. That was quite funny. I need to change this as well, because I've got it on full match at the moment. We want it on extended highlights. Yeah, I'm definitely on the lookout for some TV recommendations at the moment. All these pub quizzes on YouTube are really helping pass the time. Besides that, I've been watching Spooks, because I kind of missed the boat the first time around, so I've been watching that. I've been rewatching Death in Paradise, which is one of my favourite shows ever, really, to be honest. And I've been watching a lot of F1 videos on YouTube. There's another virtual Grand Prix this Sunday as well, for those interested. There was a part where Gino got high on cannabis oil. Oh dear. I can imagine what that must have been like. Oh, Inns! When I was at school, we had like a theatre group come in to do the usual don't do drugs, don't drink, that kind of thing. And as part of their presentation, they had like beer goggles. So essentially it splits your vision from 2 to 4. And I was the unlucky victim who was called up to try on the beer goggles. And oh my god. I mean, I have drunk alcohol since then, and it's very misleading, those beer goggles. It sort of amplifies the situation. But I still don't recommend alcohol. Like these days, I haven't had alcohol for 5 years now, maybe 6 years. I don't miss it. I never really liked it to begin with, in all honesty. Yeah. I've never liked the idea of getting drunk or taking drugs or anything like that. I just think it's really stupid. Oh yes, Clifton. Good volley. Was he onside? No, he wasn't. You fool! Should have been onside there, no excuse. Yeah, I just think, I don't know why anyone would put themselves in a position where they're not in control of their actions. You have people that talk about, you know, they don't like being a passenger in a car because they're not in control of the car, or they don't like flying because they're not in control of where the plane goes, or, you know, you talk about road accidents and they always say, you know, I lost control and that was really scary, and yet they go out and get drunk every weekend and lose control of their actions there, and they seem to be perfectly fine with doing that. I might bump up the bitrate of the stream a little bit just so YouTube stops telling me that it's not receiving enough video. So I've changed it from 4,500 to 6,000 kbs. We'll see if that helps. No frame droppage at my end. Right, Loft's on the ball. So he's playing as the inside forward. So he tends to look inside a lot more for passes and shots and crosses. One reason is to block out pain or the hurt they may feel. It doesn't though. For that brief moment, you might be immune to it, but it only adds to the problems rather than solves them. Like, I'm not trivializing any of this, but I've been through a lot of shit in my life too, and especially over the last few years, alcohol was the last thing I did to block out the pain. To each their own. You know, it's not as easy as that for everyone. I do understand that, but at the same time, I just don't agree with it. Good goal, Lofts, who was also offside. It's also, I mean, I'm coming from a viewpoint of several years of being called boring because I wouldn't go out and get drunk or I gave up drinking. So I am on the back foot. Well, not at the back foot, but I'm kind of on the assault of, why is that the default option? Why is, you know, staying in and just chatting, why is that the boring option? Have you ever heard of 3 Blue 1 Brown? He will start his own quarantine streams, with the first one starting at 8 PM. They are basically a unique take on high school math lectures. I haven't heard of him, or them I should say, and I don't really have a reason to watch them because I passed maths at school. And I have an engineering diploma. Sounds good though. I'm not disputing that. It's not my demographic, but yeah, if you are looking for... Maths is so important. Again, people call you boring if you study maths, but it's so important. Every modern job these days, particularly if you go into programming, you will need to know maths. Never drank, never taken drugs. I refuse to take any medication for my depression. Now I don't have that one. I was on antidepressants for 6 years. And actually, as long as you're careful, I think that's the right way to go. But there are other ways to deal with your problems, for sure. So I respect that. But yeah, never done drugs. Nothing that wasn't prescribed anyway. The only alcohol I ever liked was Disaronno, and even then only in very, very small measures. And it had to be mixed with something. I never drank it neat. Everything else, wine, beer, it all tastes horrible. Vodka and tequila is foul. It used to make me gag. Sambuca was alright, but only because I like licorice. And no, I never had a flaming Sambuca, because that's incredibly stupid. To pour boiling burning alcohol all over your face, and then wonder why you're on fire. Particularly if you have a big beard as well. That'll go up like it, God knows what. I don't mind the smell. I don't mind the smell, but the taste, nah. Oh, that keeper's just made a blinding save there. Upton back to lofts. Cross blocked. Calendar blocked. I just realised Upton came on. Troop and Herbert off. Upton and Gillespie on. While streaming, what else do you usually have running in the background? So on my PC right now, I have the game, I have OBS, I have Chrome, with Restream, YouTube, Twitch, Moobot, and Streamlabs all open as tabs. And I also have the Restream chat app, and I have File Explorer, so that I can rename the file once it's finished recording. Good save, Ajamang. Get that, Lofts. What else? I also have the Twitch app open as well, only because it's like Skype and you can't actually close it. You can hit the X and it disappears, but it still appears on your taskbar as running, which is annoying. A lot of the people I hang around with smoke, just makes me not want to smoke. Plus I am asthmatic, though that hasn't stopped some people. I'm not asthmatic, but when I was younger I used to be treated for asthma, because the doctor thought I had asthma when I didn't. But I do have a dust allergy, and I've always choked when near people smoking. I've had family members who used to smoke who don't anymore. But yeah, again, when I used to go out drinking, I used to go out with people who did smoke, and they would just blow smoke in your face when you asked them to stop. I knew a lot of dicks back in the day. The same people that would call me boring for... Okay, this is my argument. I used to get called boring because I wouldn't go out drinking. But I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I used to go to places like Thorpe Park, Chesington, Alton Towers, and they wouldn't go on the rides because they're shit scared of them. And then I'd be saying, come on, stop being boring. Because, you know, I like to do things like going on really fast and tall roller coasters, or getting as close to the national speed limit when I'm driving. I also, that's a good goal from Clifton, by the way. Was he onside? Again? Really? But yeah, I want to go skydiving. I've been indoor skydiving, and I thought that was a lot of fun. I want to go actual skydiving now. Full fat skydiving. And bungee jumping, I don't think I have enough trust in bungee jumping to ever do that. But to me, that's exciting. That is the definition of excitement. Not going to the same bar every week since you're 18, and you're now nearly 28, and you're just going to the same bar week in, week out, with the same people, doing the same thing over and over again. That's almost the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Come on, Cole. You're in acres there, mate. Good cross. Lofts header. Finally, a goal that counts. That's his first goal for us as well. He'd be on a hat-trick by now if he wasn't offside all the time. Look at the space here that Cole was in, though. Good pick out from Arnold. Cole perhaps should have had the balls to go himself on that one, but he picked out a very nice cross. I got called boring because I liked different things. People don't see different with me, they just see weird. I hate that about people. And I used this argument a lot in school. So I was a rail enthusiast at school. I told people I was a rail enthusiast, and people used to take the piss out of me because I was a rail enthusiast. But then, when I really started getting into football, and I've said this in videos and on stream before as well, when I started getting into football, you realise that what I used to say about railways was what everyone else was saying about football. The question there becomes, what's the difference? You know, we both have passions and we both explore those passions. But suddenly when I started talking about football to people, I was accepted. Whereas when I was talking about railways, I was the weird kid. The geek, the anorak, the nerd, whatever it might be. Nice header. It was a very nice header. I love headers like that where it's back across the keeper into the far corner. So satisfying. Oh, that was a good cross as well. When riding roller coasters, what is your preferred intensity range out of a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, so I have never been to America, so I haven't experienced the world's tallest or the world's Actually, the world's tallest roller coaster is in America. The world's fastest is in Abu Dhabi. Formula Rossa, for those of you interested, 149 miles an hour it goes. Very fast. Great goal lofts. Onside. Good stuff. Gillespie's changed the game since he came on. But in the UK, the roller coasters I have ridden are, from the tamest to the most extreme, Flying Fish at Thorpe Park. Used to be called the Runaway Train, but now it's called the Scorpion Express at Chesington. The Runaway Mine Train at Alton Towers. Dragon's Fury at Chesington. Spinball Whizzer at Alton Towers. It used to be called the Beastie, I think, at Alton Towers. It was a really tame kiddie coaster. Rattlesnake at Chesington. Where else? I might as well just list them all now. Saw the Ride, Galactica, Oblivion, Nemesis, Nemesis Inferno, Rita, 13, the Smiler, the Swarm, Colossus, Vampire, Rattlesnake. Basically every roller coaster at the 3 main parks, plus also at Drayton Manor. I've been on Shockwave, Troublesome Trucks as well. Don't ask. I had to do it. It's all about the credits. The best part about it, all those people who criticised me didn't do as well on grades as I did. My issue was actually the kids that bullied me the most were quite intelligent people. The little pleasure that I got was the guy who bullied me most for liking railways is one of the electricians on the Crossrail project. I mean, talk about full circle. Offside. Cole. So, I mean, the Smiler, I can't actually remember if I rode the Smiler before or after the incident. I used to think it was after, but now I'm thinking it might have been before. But even then, it's an intense ride. It has the most inversions of any roller coaster in the world. It goes upside down 14 times. Colossus used to hold the record with 10. I actually am scared of heights, which is the best bit about it. That's why I get the adrenaline rush from going on these rides. Stealth at Thorpe Park I missed out as well. 200 foot tall. That's the one where I've most been scared, when you get to the top of that and you realise just how high up you are. But I like it. And they're just the roller coasters I've been on. I've been on lots of flat rides as well, water rides. That rush you get, that feeling in your stomach when you hit the G-forces, it's incredible. So I would like to go to the USA at some point and go on their car park roller coasters with no theming but happen to be 300 foot tall. I will spend the whole time in the queue saying, is this such a good idea? But I know I'll enjoy it. You just get that absolute rush. It's the best 3 minutes of your life going on a roller coaster. And it's not like a drug where you have to chase the high. You know, you just queue up again and off you go. I do have a lot of data. Yeah, I like to keep track of what my players are doing, especially again at this level, because if a player underperforms, you want to address that issue before it becomes serious. Alright, 2-2. That's annoying. So right now, for example, I know that Alan Inns is one of my worst performing players with a 6.1 rating. He's also one of the least travelled players, just under 6 kilometres, and his fitness isn't very good right now. So next match, Mr. Inns might not be playing. Might be Upton starting alongside Calendar. Also under the chat, you can't see it right now, but I've got my assistant manager's feedback. And again, I'm moving the cursor over it. It's under here. I've got my assistant manager's feedback, so he's giving me updates on which players are doing well, which one should perhaps come off, what I should be doing tactics-wise. How many people did you talk to from secondary school when you were 19? I think by that point a grand total of 0. So I started 6th form. I did 1 year of 6th form, year 12. Year 12. And then I left after that year and went to college to do my engineering diploma. And even though my college was 2 miles away from my school, and I did go back frequently to visit, apart from one time where I played 6-a-side football against a team made up of my old school friends, I never spoke to them again. They never spoke to me again. That really does tell you all you need to know, doesn't it? Even uni, like college, I don't really talk to anyone from there anymore. And even uni, I don't really talk to anyone from there anymore. Everyone just goes their separate ways. I've I I've never been part of a group that stays together for a long period of time. Don't know whether that's something to do with me or something to do with those people, but it's never really happened. I always move from one group to the next. Alright, Clifton with a good goal again. Are there any real world matches that were broadcasted using graphics similar to that used for Football Manager? Sometimes they do special events. I know because of the football season being called off at the moment, some matches have been simulated using Football Manager. But also, Sky Sports a couple of years, team made up of Jamie Carragher from, I think, 2005 versus a team made up of Gary Neville from 1999. That was an interesting match. I can't remember who won. I think it might have been a draw. But also when they sometimes when they big up big matches, they'll simulate it in Football Manager first. Football Manager, the database that Football Manager uses, the player database, is actually used by real life football teams to scout players now. They've opened it up into football scouting, and game is in the realms of realism when that's happening. Apparently I'm dropping frames now. The stream might be lagging. Another equalizer. Deary me. Oh yeah, there's something else I did. So I wanted matches to last as long as possible, so I slowed down that as well. There we go. But obviously no results from the simulations have ever been used to determine league tables or anything like that. It's always just a here's what could happen scenario. I might lower the bitrate again, just because OBS is now kicking up a fuss. Whoops. There we go. See if that works. Oh, was that Cole scoring? Was he onside? Yes, he was. Well, we got a high score. Entertaining. Let me just refresh YouTube. I'm going to turn off my AC because my arm's getting freezing cold. That's a good ball. It's a nice finish as well. Oh, there's been more chat. Sort of part of a group of 3, one of which is my best friend who I've known for 3 years. I don't think FM is relaxing to watch. It's not very relaxing to play sometimes. Depends on how your team's doing. FM 19 was getting very, very stressful because I was spending a lot of money on players and yet still at the bottom of the table. Oh, what a goal. That's a great goal. Kissed the post on the way in. I need to refresh my restream because it's stopped working. Yeah, right now, again, I'm going to be very vague here and I apologise for that, but right now, my social circle is a bit unsure. It's always been my thing. The people I used to go out drinking with, obviously I don't talk to many of them anymore, for obvious reasons. People I went to school with, don't talk to. That's another good goal. People I went to college with, don't really talk to. People I went to uni with, I kind of keep in touch. Every now and then, like birthdays, Christmas, we kind of send messages to each other asking what we're up to. Maybe it is just because, you know, I'm not the most conventional person out there. I have my own interests, I have my own likes and dislikes. I'm very stubborn when it comes to those likes and dislikes. Go on, Clifton. Grab one more. Or at least set someone up for a hat-trick. Oh, for God's sake, Toyne. You had one job. I think at this stage of my life, you know, I'm 27 years old now. I'm not going to suddenly change my personality just to be popular. I can be pretty ruthless when I need to be, and you know, that's part of my quirk. It also makes me a very good person to have around a lot of the time. The point I'm making here is don't feel like you have to change in order to be popular. You will find the right people one day. Go on, ref. You can blow your whistle now. There it is. We made hard work of that, but the result was very good in the end. I am quite happy with that result. So we should be in the final now. Yes, we're in the final. I'm very pleased with Loft's performance. And the next thing I'm going to do, I might put Clifton in for the rest of the season now, just to see how good he actually is. But Upton, you're going to go in for Inns, because Inns, you were useless in that last match. Have you ever had any football matches going up to T plus 100? So in the game, yes, I have had that. I think the highest I've ever had is 15 minutes of injury time because of a serious injury to a player. I've also been at real life football matches, Stevenage matches, that have gone to 100 plus minutes because of injuries or time wasting, or normally it's a serious incident. It has to be a serious incident for 10 minutes to be added. So we had a player break his leg once, and that went to 100 plus minutes. In fact, we've had 2 players break their legs at Stevenage that I've seen. Some really serious injuries, head injuries as well, that have required huge stoppages. The thing that I always consider I was about to say consider myself lucky, but the thing I always consider is the luckiest scenario is last time out I talked about Stevenage playing Tottenham in the FA Cup and we got knocked out by Tottenham. Had we have won that match, then Fabrice Muamba, the footballer who used to play for Bolton, I think he started at Arsenal, he had a cardiac arrest on the pitch during the match. If that had happened at Stevenage, I don't think he'd have had the same level of medical care that he got at Tottenham, and I don't think he'd be here today. So I always consider it a good thing, really, that Stevenage didn't win that match. Because if you don't know what happened to Fabrice Muamba, it's quite easy to look up online. But yeah, basically in the FA Cup match, Bolton versus Tottenham at White Hart Lane, he suffered a cardiac arrest on the pitch, and there was a doctor in the crowd who ran onto the pitch and effectively saved his life. And I think there was a cardiac hospital within like a 5-10 minute drive of the stadium. We don't have that at Stevenage, so it would have been a lot more serious than it already was were that match to have happened at the Lamex. But yeah, in real life and in game, I've had matches go beyond 100 minutes. Also, if a cup match finishes level at full time and it's not the Champions League or the Europa League where away goals are taken into account, you do go into extra time, which is another 30 minutes, and the clock doesn't go back to 0 and go up to 30. It starts at 90 and goes up to 120. So technically there I've also had matches go beyond 100 minutes. What's this? Oh, the Academy are into the semi-final of the Bingham Cox Cup quarter-final. We won that 3-1. 3-1, that's nice. Heritage, Parmenter and Gravato with the goals. So it's good that my Academy team are actually playing matches. That's one of the reasons why I imagine a lot of my players are now in demand. So if I go fixtures, we're winning quite a lot of cup matches actually. We've got the Grey Cup semi-final and then the Bingham Cox Cup semi-final. Besides that, it's just all friendlies. We should have our intake soon, if we've not had it already. We might have already had it, I might have missed it, but we should get notified. I know we had something to do with intake, but I don't think it was that. I'm doing a lot of chatting today. More than I was anticipating. I don't mind though. It's all good to me. I've signed you before. I remember your name. You were my right back for like 5 seasons. Scout report. Trial. I will bend the rules slightly. He's 24, but I will bend the rules slightly because I know... I don't know him in real life. That's not right. But I know him as a player in the game. did you used to play for? Walsall, Russell, Stourbridge. Stourbridge have played Stevenage twice now, I think, in the FA Cup. Beaten both times. First time barely. Second time I think it was 5-0 or 5-1 or something like that. So a bit more convincing. Should I try and sign Christoforou? How many right backs do we have right now? I think it's just the one. Yeah, we only have Eves. Screw it. Let's do it. Negotiations are so easy in this game. FM19 they're a little bit harder because you have to go through multiple screens. The fact that they've lined the buttons up as well as a UI thing, it's so nice to just have to click on the same thing over and over again and not have to constantly move the cursor and find the right button. The number of deals in the past that I've accidentally cancelled because of that. Makes me do a double take as well. Oh shit, right. Please don't take Walker away from me. Loughborough Uni is where Dinsmore used to be as well. Yeah, the number of teams, like, you see Liverpool there and it makes you do a double take and then you realise it's Liverpool Hibernia, which is not Liverpool FC. The one that always gets me is Bournemouth in the Premier League are AFC Bournemouth, but there is another team called Bournemouth FC. So whenever I see Bournemouth FC are trying to sign my players, I think, bloody hell, Premier League. And then I've realised, oh no, the real one is, not the real one, the Premier League team is AFC Bournemouth. There's a few. So normally if a team has AFC in their name, it means the original team folded and a new team was founded on the principles of the old team. So in the case of Wimbledon, the original Wimbledon didn't technically fold, but they went into administration and then relocated to Milton Keynes, and they're now the MK Dons. So a new team was founded called AFC Wimbledon, who are now in League One with MK Dons. And last season 18-19, MK Dons were in League 2 and AFC Wimbledon were in League 1. So it's a very rare occasion where an original fan-made team made to replace an existing team ended up above that team in the league standings. Do not like each other at all because of the history involved. And again, if you want to read up on it, I strongly recommend you do, because it is quite an interesting story as to what happened. We have a long time to go till our next match. We could perhaps have played a friendly in this. Oh, please don't drop frames again. I can't lower it anymore. Alright, Christoph has signed. I think I'm going to have to switch off my PC after this stream. Let it sit for a day or so and then... I mean, that's bad. It's telling me no data on YouTube right now, which might end the stream. Oh no, excellent connection again. Is it buffering for you guys? Or are we okay? Right, Walker's signed a new deal. Good. Does that mean he's not on this list anymore? Yes, good. Glad to see. Oh, hello. I just got an email from Stevenage Football Club. Oh yeah, tomorrow they're live streaming. So Stevenage played Sheffield United back in 2013 in a very famous league match that Stevenage won 4-1. And they're live streaming the full match again tomorrow afternoon. Because I think tomorrow is... Oh, it's 7 years. I was about to say it's an anniversary, but I think tomorrow was the date that that match took place. Maybe. I might be lying there. Alright, stream was buffering. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, my PC's been on for about a week now, so I need to switch it off and let it sit, and then, you know, let it think about its purpose in life, and then hopefully it'll stream smoothly again in the future. Alright, yeah, if it does buffer a little bit, you might have to refresh. But at least with YouTube, when you refresh, the chat still appears. Like